guys, I'm going to be talking about my Invisalign experience today. I've had Invisalign for about I've had Invisalign for about 7 months now, and that's about a third of the way through. So I thought I'd share my experiences in the entire process so far. But to begin, I'm going to talk about my process before getting Invisalign, how I even got the idea of doing it, and what the consultation process was like. So let's get started. So before I got my Invisalign, I was doing a ton of research online just to see what kind of doctors or what kind of dentists there were in my city. And where I live right now, there's a lot of options. So I didn't really know what was the best choice, so I literally Googled best Invisalign dentist in my area, and I was able to find my current orthodontist, and he's been amazing so far. Like, my experience with him has been amazing. And at this particular dentist, they do free consultations. So after a couple of weeks, I went in, sat in the dentist chair, and my dentist or orthodontist checked my teeth, did an evaluation of where my teeth was right now, and then gave me a recommendation. Basically, before I even started this whole process, I didn't have dental insurance, so I never went because dental work is really expensive, which is why I never went to the dentist that often. This means that I haven't actually gotten my teeth professionally cleaned in over 3 years, which is kind of disgusting. But once I was actually at my dentist, he did an evaluation of my teeth and if I was eligible to have Invisalign in the first place. So his recommendation to me was to first get my teeth cleaned. He actually recommended that I get my teeth cleaned twice and said that I would have to remove my top 2 wisdom teeth. So my top 2 wisdom teeth, that's hard to say. My top 2 wisdom teeth were already out, but they never caused me any problems. Like, they never hurt or anything, so I never bothered to take them out. But he said that in order for me to get Invisalign and in order for me to actually expand my mouth, I would have to remove my top 2. I do have wisdom teeth on my bottom jaw, but he said that because of where they were, they wouldn't be an issue and wouldn't actually bother me if I got Invisalign. So I only had to remove my top 2. So after my initial consultation with my dentist, and I took those recommendations into consideration, after a few days, I told him that I wanted to go through with it. So the very first time I was getting my teeth cleaned, it was a terrible process, not because of my dentist himself, but because I haven't had my teeth cleaned in so long that it was just a painful process for me. But honestly, thinking back on it, it wasn't that bad. It was just really uncomfortable. But the good thing is that even though he recommended that I get my teeth cleaned twice, he actually said I was good to go after my first cleaning. So after that, I had to book my appointment to remove my wisdom teeth, and after a few weeks, I did that. If anybody has ever taken out their wisdom teeth before, you know what I mean of how crazy it is. So for my friend who had gotten all 4 of her wisdom teeth taken out just a few months prior, she went under, what's it called, general anesthesia, so she was actually asleep when she did it. So when it was my turn to go get my wisdom teeth removed, I expected to be asleep too. But literally what happened was, the day of my surgery, he sat me down on the dentist chair, and then he was like, "Are you ready?" And I said, "No, I'm awake." So apparently, because my wisdom teeth had already come out and because it was actually a pretty simple surgery, I didn't actually have to be asleep for the process. So he brought out a needle that had some numbing agent. I don't really know what it's called. I'm not a dentist myself, but he basically injected numbing agent into my gums, into the back to behind my top 2 molars. And after like maybe 5 minutes, I was completely numb from here up until here. And the craziest thing is, after that happened, he reached over, I'm laying down, so my field of vision was not super great, but I saw him reach over me, grab something, and pull it up, and it was these giant pair of pliers, and I was like, "Oh my god, are you going to just yank my tooth out?" Well, I didn't actually say it like that, but I was like, "Are you just gonna pull it out?" He was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be super fast, super easy." I'm like, "Okay." So he takes his pliers in and like grabs my teeth and just starts like yanking at it. He's like moving back and forth and like really going at it. And because I wasn't asleep, I could see everything that was happening. Well, at least from my point of view, I could see him and his hand going like this. And I couldn't feel anything. It wasn't painful. The entire process of getting my wisdom teeth removed was not painful at all, but it was just shocking to see. And like, I could, even though like I couldn't actually feel anything, I couldn't feel any pain, I could feel like pressure, like when you kind of like if somebody had their hand touching you and there was like pressure. You could feel the pressure, but it doesn't hurt, if that makes sense. Anyway, long story short, I got my top 2 teeth removed. Because it was so painless, after he took it out, he was like, "You're done." And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that they were out. Like, that's how pain-free it was. So if any of you are really worried about getting your wisdom teeth removed, don't be. The entire experience was weird and kind of shocking to see, but it was not painful at all. So in terms of pain, like, don't worry about it. So after getting my wisdom teeth removed, I had to wait 2 weeks for it to completely heal. And I booked my next appointment on the same day of my surgery for, I think it was actually 3 weeks just because of their availability, but I could have done 2 weeks afterwards. But after 3 weeks, I went back in to get basically the 3D scans. I got x-rays of the side of my face and then the front of my face, just so they could see like where my teeth were at the moment, and then they could plan out how they were going to move my teeth. Afterwards, they did a 3D scan. They have like this magic glowing stick where you're lying on your back, and then they press that. It doesn't hurt, it's not like a painful process, but they press the wand against your teeth so they can scan and make like a 3D computer model of where your teeth is. And then what they do with that model is that they send it off to Invisalign, the company, and then the company sends the dentist back your projected movement in your teeth. So after I got all the scans done and the 3D scan and all that, I had to book my appointment. Again, there's a lot of appointment booking in this whole process to come back once the Invisalign trays were actually sent to your dentist's office, and then you can actually start your process. So the next step is the exciting part, is when I actually received my box of Invisalign trays and actually was able to put them in. So let me show you guys. So when you first get your Invisalign, they'll actually give you a box like this with all your trays in them. Sorry, not all of them, a portion of your trays within them. So when you open the box, you actually have these little baggies. Oh, that fell. But you have these little baggies that actually have your trays inside them, like this. And each bag will tell you which tray you are on. So for example, for my treatment, I have a total of 66 trays. And I have a new tray that I switch out every week. So for me, it's every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'll take out one of these bags, like the new bags, for the next week, and I will switch them out. So for each bag, it will tell you which tray you are on out of how many trays you have left, or how many trays you have in total. So for this bag in particular, this is tray 25 out of 66, which essentially means week 25 out of 66 weeks. So for each box of Invisalign trays, you actually won't get them all at once. So I don't have 66 trays in this box. I usually go in for regular checkups. For me, I don't know if it's just in my case, but I go back to my dentist's office for a checkup every 6 weeks. 5 weeks, every 5 or 6 weeks. And in these appointments, usually they check on the progress, make sure that my aligners are fitting properly, and that everything is going smoothly. In addition to that, for me in particular, because my issue with my teeth is that I have too little room and my teeth are really big and there's not enough room, which is why my teeth were crooked in the first place, I needed to expand my mouth. And for my teeth to move properly and for it to fit properly, I actually had to do some shaving of my teeth. I don't do that for every appointment that I go to, but I actually have one coming up, and I've done it once before. So out of the 7 months that I've been doing this, I've gotten my teeth shaved once, and I will have another appointment to get my teeth shaved again, my next appointment at the end of the month. It's a simple process. It's not like shaving like the tops of your teeth. What they're actually doing is taking like a small tool with like a flat, not a saw, but like a flat head that spins, and they go in between your teeth to basically shave off like a tiny little bit so that there is more space between your teeth. It doesn't hurt. It sounds intimidating, but it actually doesn't hurt at all, and it's super quick. And then after that, you just put in your aligners again. So like I said, because you don't get all of your aligners all at once, you will eventually get a new box with your new aligners as you go through the process. In addition to getting your box of aligners, you will also receive a Invisalign case where you can actually put your aligners. So I'll just show you quickly what they actually look like. So when you open a new bag, you just rip off the top. This is a new one, so you don't have to see my old disgusting used trays, but all you have to do is just pull it out and here you are. So these are my top aligners right here. If you can see that. And look at how messed up my top teeth are. This is week 25, so this isn't even like how bad my teeth were before. Like sometimes I look at my first trays because you want to keep all of them. It's crazy how much my teeth have changed. So this is my first or top teeth, and then my bottom teeth are here. Obviously, my bottom teeth are not nearly as messy or as bad as my top ones, which is fine. But yeah, so this is what they look like. They're quite clear. And if you're wondering what these black spots are, it's actually just the Invisalign logo. I don't know if you can see that. No, it's not focusing. But it's just the Invisalign logo, but it also has a number on it to let you know which tray you're on or which tray these are, because you are supposed to keep all of your trays. Like I have, eventually by the time I'm done this process, I will have 66 used Invisalign trays with me, so it's just to help you keep track of which ones you're on, because they are all very similar and you don't want to put in like last week's tray or like or whatever. So if you ever went out for dinner and you took out your Invisalign trays and you accidentally tossed them, or like the server or whatever accidentally threw them away, what you're supposed to do is just move forward to the next tray. But these numbers just help you keep track of which tray you're on and which ones you're actually holding in your hand. So because for me, I have attachments on my teeth, I think most people do when they do Invisalign. It's not completely clear. They're called buttons essentially, but it's like this special gel that is the same color as your teeth, and it is semi-permanent. So if you actually look at my aligners, you see these little bumps? These little bumps are the teeth colored gel that hardens and is attached to your teeth until the end of your treatment, and it just helps the aligner grip onto your teeth, and it helps it pull your teeth where it needs to go a lot faster than if your aligners were completely smooth. Like for example, like my front tooth here doesn't have one, just because like the goal here is to pull my teeth this way. And if I didn't have that, it would have a harder time pulling my teeth because the plastic is actually just so smooth. So just be aware that if you do get Invisalign, that you will probably end up getting these attachments. So like I said earlier, I change my aligners once a week, but obviously throughout the day, you're supposed to keep your aligners on for at least, I think the numbers are between 18 to 20 hours minimum. You take them out for every meal, and then after you're done eating, you floss, you brush your teeth, and you put them back in. So I'll just quickly show you how I take out my aligners. My dental hygienist actually taught me how to do it in a way that works best for me, so I'll just quickly show you. Just a little bit of warning, it is a little bit gross, there's a lot of saliva, but you get really used to that when you're doing Invisalign. So I'll just show you quickly here. So for the top ones, what you're supposed to do is you loosen up the back first, actually the top and the bottom, so you do the same thing. You loosen up the back portions where your molars are, and then you kind of just peel, you grab it from the back, you stick your fingers in your mouth and you grab it, and then you just kind of slowly peel it back. So I'll just show you. See, like that. The more you do it, the easier it will get for you. So I'll just show you the bottom. And like that, easy peasy, right? The bottom for me is a little bit easier just because my top teeth are so messed up. But yeah, the bottom is a lot easier. And I will say, when I first got my Invisalign, I didn't have my attachments for the first 4 weeks, and I got the attachments later. It was planned. I was always meant to get the attachments, but just for the first 4 weeks I didn't have them, and they were a lot easier to take in and out. It was no big deal. The attachments do make the aligners a lot tighter. Taking them out is a bit more difficult, so just find a way that is best for you. For me, the peeling method, like the loosening up in the back and then the peeling method, works the best for me, but I would ask your dentist. They probably have some good tips on how they would do it. So to put them back in, it's super easy. It's a lot easier than taking them out. So for the bottom ones, I just put it on top and then just press it down. Okay, for the top ones. And that's it. So what you want to do when you put them in, especially if you switch to a new tray, is that you want to push it up to make sure that it's as far into your teeth as possible. And especially when you are doing a new tray, sometimes it doesn't fit perfectly because obviously your teeth has to shift to the mold of the new trays. So what you're supposed to do is that anywhere you have buttons or the attachments, you just press onto them horizontally. So for example, I have 2 right here, so I just make sure that I push on them with some pressure, like you don't want to be too gentle, to make sure that they are on properly. So that's all for today, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Say bye.